Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Luke pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Public comment. Andy.
Public comment is an opportunity for members of the public to address the Board of Directors on any subject matter that is not on the meeting agenda and is within the board's subject matter jurisdiction. Public comment periods are limited to 3 minutes per person, and the total amount of time for public comment is 15 minutes. Persons participating by way of video conference or teleconference shall ensure their audio is muted at all times except when the board chair announces public comment periods. At those designated times, members of the public wishing to speak shall enable their audio and state their name for the record. When multiple members of the public wish to speak, the clerk will determine the order of speakers and announce their names accordingly. To ensure proper conduct, the board reserves the right to mute the audio and video of any members of the public violating generally accepted principles and decorum of official public meetings.
No public comment cards turned in. Does anyone from the public wish to speak? Not online. All right. Consent items.
Move to approve.
Have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None. Okay, discussion items. Consider approval of a sponsorship in the amount of $3,500 to support the Marysville Drakes baseball team. Katrina.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Woods, the administrative supervisor, and I also serve as the administrator for the sponsorship program. So a little background on the sponsorship program. It was originally adopted in 2020. And then this year we formed a committee to oversee the applications that come in and vote on them. They have the authority to approve up to $2,500. Anything beyond $2,500 comes to the board for review. So with that, I would like to introduce the general manager for the Marysville Drakes, Jerry Betancourt, to go over the application that they submitted for $3,500.
Good morning. My name is Jerry Betancourt. I'm the general manager for the Marysville Drakes. Player development personnel, announcer, official scorekeeper, and the beggar of sponsorships. I'm here today to ask for $3,500 for our firework program to be either on the 13th or the 27th of July. That's when we have the fireworks scheduled for. There's also been questions about how long your banner would stay up and patches would go on the uniforms as part of this. The patches can be ordered and done within 5 to 6 days, and we can put them on the uniform within 7 days, and your banner would stay up all year long through the end of next year. Any questions?
Yeah, I have a few. When it was presented per our agenda setting, there was quite a bit of other discussion, throwing out of the first pitch, things like that.
That all goes with the sponsorship.
Yeah. Could you tell for the rest of the board the whole package?
The whole package is basically a $5,000 package. You get baseballs with your logo on it to distribute within your agency. You get a batting circle, which is made with your logo that the guys warm up with before they come up to bat. That stays there all year long. You get, I believe it's 50 tickets to a game. You get your own night, the water agency night, and then whoever you would pick to throw out the first pitch. It could be just about anybody that you want to recognize. Like we just had Lauren Harris from Faith Christian High School, who was a national basketball player of the year at just a sophomore. She came out and threw out the first pitch the other night. And that's what we try to do, represent local ball players. Janisa Conway, who was a 4-year All-Star at Marysville High School, she came out and threw out the first pitch several weeks ago. She was also the freshman of the year for the Michigan Wolverines softball program out in the Big Ten. So it's basically however you would want that night to run. We just script it and we put it to the water agency's needs, and We keep the advertisement on our social media constant for over a year. And as long as you want to be there, we will accept you there. The water agency is important to us as it keeps our grass green and everything growing. And it's a beautiful ballpark, and we want to stay there for a long time. And with sponsorship from the local community, it's basically how we stay there.
All right. So now I'm even more confused. Is it 3,500 or 5,000?
No, we cut it down to 3,500
you cut it down
because
to
it's
35.
half the year.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
why.
I got it. Okay.
Fortunately, that's one of the authorities I do have.
Yeah. Yeah. Any of you guys think you could throw a ball all the way from the pitcher's mound to home plate? Charlie?
We had
throw that far?
8-year-old Max Rollins come out the other day from the top of the mound.
Yeah.
And he told his dad, Bill, because Marysville High School Athletics sponsors us, they let us use their pitching machine all year long while we're here. And Max came out from 60 feet, 6 inches and threw a strike. He told his father, I didn't want to come up close. I didn't want to. He got up on top of the mound and threw a strike from 60 feet, 6 inches.
Yeah. Well,
That also happens to be Rex's cousin.
Yeah, that's why I originally said, hey, maybe Fallon could throw the first pitch out. She doesn't want to, so maybe then Willie
it
doesn't
doesn't
want
have to be
So we
just
thought
one.
maybe Rex would want
You
to do
could
that.
recognize 3 people and they all come out and throw out the first
Okay.
pitch. Little bios on everybody.
Jerry, you want to throw the first pitch?
John, we can play follow the leader with you.
Can we include that in the motion? Then I'm ready to make a motion.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, you can do that. Does anybody else have any questions?
Is there going to be a scrimmage between the team and the water agency team?
Are you really that brave? It would have to be a slow pitch game and our guys would have to bat wrong-handed. All right. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you.
I was just wanted to say too, we would love to coordinate our tickets, our Yuba Water Night with the fireworks night if possible, with the helps of the communications team and the outreach team, and get all of us out there. Maybe get it with Beal and do a Beal night as well. Try to make it like a really fun Yuba Water Night.
And I brought 50
So-
tickets just in case.
And
And we also have 75 already.
So can we ask all the employees to wear a Yuba Water Agency shirt or hat or
Yeah.
something, and we all sit together in a section? That may be fun.
Absolutely.
That's the best way to do it, man.
Okay. All right.
That's the hope. Rex is already like brainstorming all kinds of fun ideas.
All right.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions? Do we have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
We have a second. I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, passes. Thank you. Rex, you better start practicing your pitching. Okay, item 4, consider approval of a non-binding initial financing plan for the South County Infrastructure Project. Terry.
Here, thank you. So if you recall back on May 21st at our board meeting, went through the whole project, give you a briefing on what was going on. For the members of the public who weren't here that day, this is a collaborative project between Yuba Water Agency, Olivehurst Public Utility District, the city of Wheatland, and the county of Yuba. So the project, it's about 200 million, give or take, a million here. Sorry, no, it's about 200 million. And there are 3 parts to it. The first part is to connect Wheatland with the OPUD wastewater plant so that Wheatland can decommission its aged out, perhaps, wastewater treatment plant. The second part are improvements to the OPUD plant, the connection across 65, and some sanitary sewer upgrades for areas around the plant to ease the overflow in high water events. And then the third phase are water lines and wastewater lines that go down Rancho Road and 40 Mile Road. So our main interest in this project is to protect the groundwater and the surface water. As I said, Wheatland's wastewater treatment plant is old, and in high water events, discharges into the Bear River. Beal also has a World War II era wastewater treatment plant They're having problems with that and need to replace it. And they are very interested in talking about connecting to this wastewater line that goes from Wheatland to Opud, because this is the closest a wastewater line has ever been to Beale. So for both of those aging wastewater treatment plants, this line would be protecting the groundwater and the surface water. So for the first phase of the project, that's the connection between Wheatland and Opud. We did submit applications to the State Water Resources Control Board. Wheatland submitted one and Opud submitted one to get a grant. It is a grant for disadvantaged communities working on regionalization projects. It's perfect. I mean, we fit this really well. And at this point, our application is in. It's gone through technical review. It's in the environmental review, which should be done by the end of August. And if you recall, in May, we talked about, to keep that on track, we need to submit a financial package to show the state board that we can pay for this and that Wheatland and Opud will be able to handle the ongoing costs. So they're asking for things like, audited financials and things like that. We'd like to get that financial package in soon, now. So that it takes a couple of months for the state board to review the financial package. So if everything lines up right, then they'll be done with their financial review about the same time they're done with the environmental review. We'll get the grants. We go into the legal process of actually developing the grant agreements. Those would be done right after the first of the year. And the project is bid ready. So it would be ready to go to bid as soon as we get signatures on the documents. So you have two documents in front of you today. The first one is a non-binding memorandum of understanding. And this is what we'd like to submit to the state board saying, hey, for this phase of the project, yes, we need your grant. Wheatland is going to put in money, and we're asking the loan from the Yuba Water Agency is now at $75 million. The reason for that is that every funding source that we're going after has requirements. And so, for instance, the requirements for the state board are that it's going to regionalize disadvantaged communities. They're not really interested in growth, new growth. And so funding that we're still working with developers on, and for instance, the tribe and going after grants, that funding would be used for a different part of the project. So if all goes as planned, that 75 will be coming down. For right now, we just need to show the board that we have funding sources to fund the rest of the project. The other item you have attached to this item is a term sheet. Again, this is non-binding, and that's just between all the parties, Wheatland, Opud, the county, and us. And it's just really spelling out, hey, we're all in agreement that we're going to keep looking for this all We can't go forward until we get all the financing for the project. It's our intention to investigate forming a JPA so that all the money could go through the JPA for that function and different things like that. So we're bringing those to you today for your approval. The OPUD board approved them on June 20th. The Wheatland City Council approved those documents on the 25th. This morning, just as an aside, as we speak, starting at 9 a.m. this morning, an OPUD board member and a Wheatland City Council member are going to be giving input to the state board. They have their intended use plan posted, and so they're there to give public input that these are really, really important projects to us. Over the next, if you approve this today and we can submit this to the state board, then over the next 6 months, that's I was going to say that's when the real work begins, but there's been a lot of real work that's gone into this project for the past 3 years now. But what we'll start working on are the actual agreements, the binding agreements that are needed, not only for this funding source, but for all the funding sources. So happy to answer any questions you have. We also have Simon Gray, who is our engineering consultant on the project online, and Mark Northcross, our financial advisor, is online if you have any questions.
All right, any questions?
I have questions as much as I have comments, and Terry updated us last week at our meeting on all of this. I think it's just a really important project for the county, but at the same time, there will be some level of risk associated with this loan. And so my thoughts are over the next 6 months, as we figure out how the loan gets repaid, that we just minimize those risks and make sure that the repayment plan is not based on some assumptions that are not reasonable. It'll have to be based on something, some level of impact fees or something that is getting repaid. And so we just have to be careful with that to make sure that, that it's a reasonable expectation that we get repaid.
Okay. Terry, do you have a follow-up to that comment?
Thank you for the comment, Director Bishop. And that honestly is why we brought Mark Northcross on board. Because this is a real loan. It's not a wink, wink, in case you guys don't pay us back kind of loan. So we can only loan the amount of money that's supported by repayment plans and the ability of the entities to repay. So as I pointed out to the ad hoc committee, we have a lot of grant applications out there. We're continuing to try to find other sources of funding. But we all have to be realistic about this, and we might have to put this on hold. If we don't get the State Water Resources Control Board grant, I think we're going to have a tough discussion about when we could do this project. But we can't loan $200 million. That's just not feasible. Mark, did you have any comments on that?
Sure. Thank you, Terry. And see if I can get my video on. Okay. You won't get the picture of me sitting here, but I want to support what both Terry said and Director Bishop said. Over the next 6 months, while the state's reviewing the grant app, we'll be coming up with calculations of how much is realistic to expect getting repaid. And we'll present those numbers to staff and to the board. And I do want to invite the board now to start considering how far you're willing to go. And in the sense that I don't think it's advisable for have other stakeholders in this process, as great as the process is, to think that there's an unlimited deep pocket from the Yuba Water Agency. We need to be clear on what our limits are. And I've got a role to play in coming up with some numbers on those limits, but certainly the board members need to consider that. This is a non-binding MOU. We are stating a good faith statement of intent, but we are not making promises that we will fund this one way or another, regardless of conditions. So that's the short answer.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Anyone from the public?
Just a quick comment. I want to echo what Director Bishop had to say, and also thank staff for their effort on this. It's been going on for a long time. It's super, super important to the future of our county. So I'm really happy that the water agency is able to take a leadership role and try to get this across the finish line. So
thank you. Okay, anyone from the public? We have a motion. We're going to take a vote on this?
Yes, please. We need approval
just
of the documents.
non-binding. Okay.
yeah, I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and it's seconded by Director Bishop. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Okay, managers report.
Thank you.
Thank you, Terry.
Well, happy second day of the new fiscal year. That was for Curtis. Everything's looking good. Bullards Bar is about 900,000 acre feet. We're shooting for a target storage of 650,000 acre feet at the end of September. Inflows year to date are about 90%, but the storage average to date is about 110%. So we're looking good. Like I reported about a month ago, this was about an average year. So things are looking good. I reported last board meeting that hydro actual energy prices are a little bit low due to low natural gas prices, and they kind of remain that way. All of our ancillary product prices are up though. And even this week, I mean, we're seeing a little bit higher prices with this heat wave that's coming through, but nothing like we saw in 2023. So I just wanted to reiterate to you so that you know that natural gas supply is about average or normal, and it seems like it's going to stay that way. But speaking of the heat, we've got a major heat wave, and this isn't the 3 to 4 day type heat wave coming through. This is like the 7 to 10 day type heat wave. I think the only thing that will offer some reprieve to energy demand is the fact that excuse me, the 4th of July holiday kind of lands right in the middle of the heat wave. I think tomorrow will be the peak energy demand day, with Friday and Saturday being the peak heat wave portions of the heat wave. So typically on a holiday, you have less energy demand because people are not at work. So prices will still be good. There'll still be significant demand on the system. There'll be significant stress on the grid, but nothing like if we were basically in the middle of a normal week. So we're prepared for that. As far as our reliability of our units, I was up at the plant, I guess it was last week, and the ops team noticed that Unit 2, Colgate Unit 2, was oscillating slightly at low megawatt levels. They basically got together, brought a governor testing consultant out to test the governor. It was swinging about 5 megawatts, from -2 megawatts to like +3 megawatts, which isn't a big deal from an energy sales thing, but it's a big deal from a maintenance thing where you have this, unnecessary cycling of the unit. They did a bunch of testing, couldn't find out what it was, but they reconfigured the way that the needles. There's a primary set of 6 needles, 1 pair, and they switched that around and got it to stabilize. So that was good going into this heat wave. The last thing we want to do is have a generation problem when there's significant demand on our units. So I want to compliment the team for at least finding an interim solution. I don't think they identified the exact problem, but they found an interim solution to keep us reliable over the next week or so, and they're going to do some more testing on the 17th. The maintenance crew is doing some major upgrade work on the new Bullards Bar low-level outlet. They have the mini hydro shut down, and we'll have it shut down for a little while longer. We're basically doing some upgrades to the low-level outlet because we'll have to rely on the low-level outlet next fall of 2025. For 4 months during the tunnel outage. So we want that to be in tip-top shape. So they've got a contractor out there helping to replace some parts and do a bunch of significant maintenance to ensure that thing's reliable next fall. So just want to report that and also let you know that, yes, we're in critical energy time right now, or demand, but our mini hydro, which is only 0.15 megawatts, is offline, but that's a planned outage. Meeting's so short, I'm kind of freestyling and going a little bit long today just to occupy some time. If you want to give me the hook, John, you can. Everything's normal with all the other units. Our flow at downstream of Englebright is normal. Everything seems to be stable there. Director Blazer at the last board meeting when we were reviewing Curtis's budget noticed that during our personnel allocation, where we list all the employees we have and the number of headcount and the number of vacancies, he noticed, hey, there's a 0 next to the power systems director job. Are you guys going to hire somebody? And as a matter of fact, we are, and we did. I want to introduce Kian Summers to you all. Kian Summers is our new power systems director. He started last Monday. Kian comes from Nevada Irrigation District. I worked with him when I was at PG&E, and he was at Nevada Irrigation District. And He's a successful candidate, has been here for a week, doesn't really know what he's getting himself into, but I'm sure he'll enjoy it. But I want to let him come up and just introduce himself to you also, you know who we hired last week. So Kean, why don't you come up?
Good morning, board staff and members of the public. I am Kean Summers. That's like Ian with a K, and I'm incredibly excited to be here. As Willie mentioned, I've been working with Nevada Irrigation District for the last 17 or so years. I'm an engineer by training, started with NID in the engineering department and quickly found my way over to the hydroelectric department where I worked with the dam safety issues. In 2013, I was promoted to the manager over there and then reclassified as the director about 2 years ago. So I am very aware of hydropower and hydro systems and the Yuba system as well. I think that has really helped me get a leg up on the way this is going to move forward. So I don't have a speech prepared for today. I'm happy to answer any questions or freestyle about anything that you want to at this point. But I am very excited to be here. It's an amazing agency, and I'm glad to not be looking from the outside in anymore. I'm looking forward to the fun work that we're going to do over the next 10 or so years. So thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks,
welcome to the team.
With that, I'd also like to thank Ryan McNally, who sat in as the interim power system director for 10 months and also did his regular job as the water resources and flood risk reduction manager. So Ryan, thanks, brother. Thanks for that. We appreciate it. On the communications side, the Appeal Democrat gave us a shout out for our grant to help provide swim lessons at the Olivehurst Pool and covered our grant and loan awarded to Trillia at the last meeting. Last Thursday night, we were interviewed for a KCRA feature about the No Spark Tow Chain Cover Program. If you're unfamiliar with that, we partner with the Fire Safe Council to make the tow chain covers available for free to anyone who wants them. On Friday, we were on 93Q with Linda County Water District talking about our water conservation kits. It was a great segment. If you haven't seen it, it's worth checking out on their Facebook page. On Wednesday, Caitlin Chow will be giving a water safety presentation to a group of foster youth. And our upcoming sponsorships include Thursday's 4th of July fireworks celebration. And then on July 19th and 20th, we'll have our big booth at the Peach Festival. And our next board meeting is on July 16th.
Thank you. Director's reports. We'll start down there with Director Bishop.
I have Gary and I were up at the Power Systems headquarters yesterday for a tour. Riley Mallon gave us a great tour around the facility. That project predates me in the water agency, the initial planning, but I was just really impressed with how well thought out the whole facility is, and they're still making tweaks to that plan as they go, and listening to the contractors and the people that are going to work there, and it's really going to be a great place to work. It's pretty cool to see that in the Yuba foothills, that facility. So Kean, I'm sure you're going to enjoy that building.
I have very little report. We had a tour from southern China, Chinese people that wanted to learn a little about rice. I wanted, of course, take them up and show them to Garrett Point, but there wasn't enough time in their allocations. I would like to also ask Willie, because this hot spell is coming, and we've always talked about in the future trying to increase storage capacity or working capacity in Bullards Bar by maybe fixing the boat ramp so it had a more up and down, which would give us more peaking power. If you would want to comment on that.
So the kind of the critical factor that keeps us from having more operational flexibility is at Englebright Reservoir, the Army Corps of Engineers dam, and it's the boat dock. And it's how the infrastructure is attached to the boat dock. And we have about 10 feet of operational storage there. And it would take significant upgrades by the owner of the marina and or the Army Corps of Engineers to upgrade that. At this point, we don't have an initiative to work with them on that, but it's something we could talk about in the future.
Thank you.
Gary?
Nothing other than to echo Director Bishop's comments about the tour yesterday. It was great. And if you haven't had a chance to do one yet, I'd encourage you to sign up.
Seth?
In case anyone doesn't know, we have our brisket champion here. I think you've sold everyone, but just in case someone didn't know, from our fair competition. We also did have a tour. We're outnumbered by the farmers today on the board, and all of them at one point or another were part of the tour of our trade delegation from Winshan Prefecture in China. So thank you one and all yet again. I do appreciate their contribution to that. And we even had Willie talk to them a little bit about acre feet. So the tour went very well.
Can I comment on that?
Absolutely.
And so, of course, Seth was late in bringing them. I think I was the last one to talk. So he was like 15 minutes late. So I spent 15 minutes waiting for Seth to get there. And I converted all of our storage and all of our CFS to metric while I was waiting. I had it all memorized. And then I was talking through a translator. And so I was, telling them in metric what these things were. And they said, no, go ahead and just give it to me in acre feet. So anyway, all that hard work went away. So sorry, Seth, to interrupt that.
Speaking of being late, they missed one of our farm tours because they were late. And herding cats is, I think, how you do a tour of this sort. And I'm not a cat herding skilled person, so I need to work on that. The trains did not run on time. As coming up, happy 4th of July to everyone. I hope we all remember that we had a revolution over too high of taxes and keep that in mind over this next week. And then I think that there is a NACO conference that I will be attending with Gary, so we will not be at our next meeting, but we'll be checking that water quality on the Florida coast again.
All right. Well, I have a ton of stuff. I'll keep us here for a little bit. First off, yes, I did win a very prestigious award at the Yuba-Sutter Fair, the Browns Valley Alley Brisket Cook-Off. The only reason I won that award was because I picked a Wagyu brisket from Yuba River Ranch. They're raised Wagyu beef right here in Yuba County, right on the banks of the Yuba River. So if anybody wants good quality meat, they're USDA butchered and they sell top quality Wagyu meat, not just briskets. I'm gonna jump around here a little bit. Oh, I also took photo and sent it to Dee Dee with the kids that received the awards for the 4-H and FFA awards that the Yuba Water Agency sponsored, belt buckles. I'm tracking down the kids' names so we can get permission to actually use those on social media. But I did present the awards, took pictures with them, and would like to thank the agency for sponsoring that, like they always do. I attended the North Yuba Water District meeting last week. They have great news coming down. They're doing great work. They have full irrigation flow again, the second year in a row. And I'd like to thank our board for continued support of North Yuba Water District. They're just doing phenomenal. And I think by the end of the month, they're looking like they're going to have all their lawsuits with South Feathered settled over and done with, and really be moving forward. It's going to be a great thing up there. Let's see. There's going to be cooling stations available through the county. If anybody has a need for that, it's posted on social media. And I want to talk a little bit about this game coming up that we're going to sponsor. It'd be great if we could all bring our families and support Yuba Water Agency and wear some Yuba gear and sit together. So I think that'd be a great thing. You brought up the Peach Festival. I've got a couple events at the Peach Festival. One is apparently I'm entered in the peach pie eating contest. So if anybody wants to come cheer me on, I'm going to be doing that. And then also I'm on the board for the Marysville Youth Shooting Sports Boosters Club. And we host the Peach Pub Crawl on Thursday night. So we have great prizes. And if anybody would like tickets, see me and I can get you tickets. It's a great event. I'd like everybody to support. And speaking of other events, I'm helping the Brownsville Mountain Fair with a 5K. So I'm trying to put together a 5K. Willie has agreed to run with me in this 5K, step for step, stride for stride.
That was in closed session, John. I don't know if you're allowed to talk about that. Just kidding.
I ran, and I just want to let you know, I ran a 5K on the treadmill here in 32 minutes and 25 seconds the other day. So you better start training. And I'm sure Gary will come and at least walk it.
Walk
Yeah.
5Ks.
Yeah.
That's what Gary does.
Yeah.
Can I borrow your electric bike?
You can borrow my electric bike.
But the word mountain has me nervous.
Yeah,
When I walk, it's flat.
Yeah, no, it's not flat. We're going around the airport in Brownsville. I haven't gotten the entire course. I went and rode my electric bike several times around trying to get exact 5K. I will get it, but it has a few hills in it. Gary and I are on a committee through Yuba County to work on our OHV park out in the Goldfields and how we're going to reopen the BLM area that the county's leasing. And we have a tour coming up on July 10th at 9 a.m. with an OHV group out there in the Goldfields. And we'd really like to tie the Yuba Water Agency in because it's going to be on the Yuba River. And as we all know, protecting the Yuba River is our main concern. So, Ryan, if you're available on July 10th at 9 a.m., we'd really like to invite you because also if we get my Jeep stuck, we figure you could tow us out. So yeah, that's it. That's all I have. That it? Meeting's adjourned. Thanks.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Hi, I'm Neil Goforth of Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties. Caring for elders or even yourself has challenges. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties can help you address today's issues and plan for tomorrow with in-home and specialized care for you or your family members. Call us at 530-749-8800. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties.